So everybody knows about Joy Taylor, how she slept her way to the top. And now there's a video that's resurfacing about how she claims that Angel Reese discovered Caitlin Clark for us. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do set the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. By the way, we've done a video on this because I don't know if the Angel Reese fans got this from Joy Taylor or they made it up themselves, but their take is that Angel Reese discovered Caitlin Clark for us and nobody knew who Caitlin Clark was, when in fact it was just the opposite. And I remember seeing one comment that someone said, maybe in your community, basically implying that in the Black community, Angel Reese fans, they knew who she was. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, there's something to that. And she's also was well known on Instagram. At the time, she had 600,000 followers. But that's not basketball knowledgeable people. And Caitlin Clark doesn't have really much on Instagram. She doesn't post much. But just as a review, before we get into what Joy Taylor said, Caitlin Clark was very well known before this. She was the most well-known basketball player in college, and she was a junior. As a freshman, she was co-freshman of the year. She was first-team All-American and second-team All-American, depending on whether it was a Basketball Writers Association or AP. She actually was in the news because she was in the top 15 for the Wooden ballot, and then there was just a controversy about that because people thought it was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I knew she was since her freshman year because I think Carolyn Beck was talking about her and saying she's the most exciting freshman in the country. So I was watching her since she was a freshman. But either way, she made first team All-American and she was co-freshman of the year. And then they had the second highest rating ever in a Sweet 16 game against UConn. There was a bunch of publicity about that game when it was Caitlin Clark against Paige Beckers. And
that was before she even played LSU, correct?
Right. And this is freshman year. And she was the leading scorer in the nation and second in assists. This is just her freshman year. Her sophomore year, she led the country in assists and in scoring. And she was second in AP Player of the Year, and she was first team All-American. Okay, so she built up a more of a following at that time. Her junior year, Rob, she led the country in scoring and assists again. And there was all sorts of talk that she was going to win Player of the Year, which she did, and that she was going to be first team All-American, which she was easily, obviously. And then in the NCAA tournament, she was getting some publicity. And then in this Elite Eight against Louisville and Haley Van Lith, she lit them up for a 40-point triple-double. Yeah. And it was the highest rated Elite Eight game in the history of women's basketball at the time. And the rating for her game was 50% higher than the rating for Angel Reese's game. She had a 2.82 million as opposed to 1.89 million. In the next round, Rob, when she plays against South Carolina, there was all this talk about Caitlin Clark. And the Google searches for her went way through the roof after that. Not for Angel Reese, just for Caitlin Clark.
Right.
And then they got depending on what you believe, it's 5.5 or 5.64 million. Angel Reese's game only got 3.4 million. Again, 62% higher for her game. And I was not even a big draw. I didn't hear anybody at ESPN even mention Angel Reese or on Yahoo or anything else. I didn't hear anybody. So I still didn't know who she was until she started doing the ring thing. She was the fourth leading scorer in that game. Three women on her team scored 20 points, over 20 points, Rob. That's why they won the game. Yeah, she had 10 rebounds and 15 points, and she played a good game. But she wanted to make a name for herself, and she did. Yeah, the next thing, her Instagram followers went up from 600,000 to 1.3 million. Okay, so she got famous because of this, not Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was already famous. All right.
Right.
So that's just the background.
Yeah. I mean, to say that a gesture made by a player, caused that person to elevate and all of a sudden rise up is so ludicrous. It's crazy.
And I didn't even say, Rob, the game before that, the Final Four, the 5.64 million, that was the highest rated Final Four game up to that point in all time of women's basketball history. Mm-hmm. The only one was higher was the next year when Caitlin Clark played UConn.
UConn, yeah.
in the Final Four game.
Yeah.
Just so you
it's
know.
like, so
All right, so
who made
Taylor.
who?
Go ahead, Rob. Yeah, who made it? Well, it was just the opposite, which is so funny about this. And that's why I made a video about this, because people make comments in the threads that you see on YouTube that said nobody knew who Caitlin Clark was until Angel Reese came around and did what we're about to talk about. Joy Taylor, yeah, I don't know what to say about her. I know she's good at sleeping her way to the top. That's all I know.
Mark, she has nice eyes.
She has nice eyes. All right, so we know she's very attractive, okay? And she finally has this show now, and at the time, I guess this was on Speak, and she was talking to some other people, and she started talking about the game afterwards, and she said, we were not talking about Caitlin Clark, and I don't know who we is, I guess her show. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese did this and pointed to the ring. This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live. Okay, so 100%, she's not even saying, I didn't know who Caitlin Clark was. She's saying nobody else did either. Like, we weren't covering it. Okay, so that none of that is true because everybody else was covering it. But okay, she went on, Rob. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before that moment, and that's okay because you can be extremely talented and not interesting. Now she's saying Caitlin Clark is not interesting when, in fact, the reason she's so popular is because she's so interesting and her game is so interesting. So it's just, again, this was, more opposite of what this was. We don't talk about some athletes on this show because the public has not shown enough interest in them. I mean, unless your whole audience is just a bunch of black individuals who only want to talk about black athletes and not want to talk about the whole women's basketball league. Yeah, fine, but that's not it.
Yeah, fine.
Your show's bigger than that. So
if that's your format, where you're just catering to this black people and women and how you want them to view how women's basketball is and how they're the only people in women's basketball, then yeah, it's your format. But it's not true. It can't be true. What are you talking? It's not even.
This was before ESPN started trying to downplay Caitlin Clark. So they were talking about Caitlin Clark a lot. Again, I never heard of Angel Reese, and I did follow up on this after, I was watching Caitlin Clark. I saw the 40-point game, and I saw the South Carolina thing, which got a ton of publicity because they were undefeated. This is before ESPN was trying to downplay Caitlin Clark. They were just talking about her normal. People weren't jealous of her because she had too much publicity for only a short amount of time at this point. So, but I don't know about her show, but every other show in the world was only talking about Caitlin Clark. So, in fact, they knew who she was, Rob. They knew who she was. There's no way. There's no way you couldn't know who she was.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like the WNBA when she came into the league. Oh, we didn't know. Well, how can you not know? I mean, even like I said, Mark, you're not even. I turned you on to. Well, you saw her freshman, but I kind of turned you onto women's basketball. You got turned on to it because of who? Not because of Angel Reese.
No, right? She has a boring game. She can't even make a layup.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is because she also has an excerpt where she says, "I had to work twice as hard as everyone else." I don't know if that meant twice as hard in bed, or I don't know. She said she had to work twice as hard in order to get, credit for being intelligent or having good commentary. This is absolutely the worst take ever. And not only is it a bad take, it's not even a bad take. It's just a dishonest take. That's the problem with this take. You can have a bad opinion. Everyone can have a bad opinion. Like if the Eagles blow out Green Bay this weekend, that's a bad opinion. I picked the Packers in an upset. Hello, but hey.
But I mean, it's not factual. It's a non-factual comment. So what I mean, and like we always say, if you're going to be in the public and be out there like ESPN, and you're supposed to be this so-called journalist, for you to say or promote this is really like, what the hell? What are you doing out here? How do you even get this job? Yeah, I don't know about how hard you got through to get there, but I can see why you didn't, because with this comment.
Right. Well, before this, I just said assumed she got the jobs because she was so good looking, and now we found out there was more to it than that. She went the extra mile.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you can't complain about, not, women not getting the credit for being intelligent and having good sports takes, if you're going to have takes like this makes other women broadcasters look bad. In fact, how
Right.
she got to the top make other women sportscasters look bad, because now everybody thinks any attractive woman who makes it in sports or in broadcasting in general slept their way to the top like she did. So, anyways, Rob, as usual, even though X is a cesspool, they did have some good responses to this, which I'll share with you now.
Yeah.
One comment was, "We weren't talking about you," meaning Joy Taylor, "until you climbed the ladder by laying down. At least CC earned it. She was too blind to see, or her legs were too open to even notice."
Oh, nice.
This take is crazy. Not crazier than the allegations, but still crazy. We all know what you were busy doing. Joy had other stuff going on. Yeah, she was very busy, too busy to notice. And then there's just hot dogs flying in her face in one of them.
Too busy working her way to the top. All right. Yeah.
She might have seen more footage if she put the TV in her ceiling.
Oh, I like that one. That one I like. I like that one.
Nobody was talking about Joy until we found out she banged her way to the top. Another person, I'm going to get to this in a minute, another race baiter, because I'll just stop right there. This is obviously racist, okay? And
Yeah.
all the people, anyone who said that in the comments I've ever seen about Angel Reese making Caitlin Clark famous, they either had no picture or they were black. Okay, I'm just saying that. Let's be honest about that. This is because of race, and she's not like Caitlin Clark at all. She didn't stick up for him in the Olympic team and things like that. And there's no other explanation for this. All right, so whatever. I don't want to get obsessed with race, but it's obvious this is race. She's so dumb. She did what she did to keep her job. The poor woman got the Cheryl Swoop sickness.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone said, "Stop putting stupid people on TV, please. They're making the kids dumber themselves." The next comment, for our generation, are going to love it. "Jane, you ignorant slut."
For those of you who don't know that, just go back to Saturday Night Live, and you.
Dan Aykroyd did to Jane Curtin on Saturday Night Live. She must have had her face in the pillow. We, as in racists, we're not talking about CC. In other words, the person was saying, "Yeah, our racist show wasn't talking about CC before this," is what they were saying. Joy probably smashed an angel too.
Wow.
I wish she is just an idiot, but she is clearly a racist. And those are the best comments that I saw, Rob.
Yeah, that one's true.
Yeah,
there's something you can do with a name like. I'm sitting there going, with a name like Joy.
Well, she brings joy to a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much we can just keep going.
As long as you're a guy in a position of power,
right?
Her name Joy.
She can bring joy into your life.
Now, another video surfaced where Emmanuel Ocho, who she wanted to be on his show because that was called Speak for Yourself, and I guess now it's called Speak, and now she's the host. She got everybody else out, and then she brought in Paul Pierce and Keyshawn Johnson, and sometimes Michael Irving's on that show now. But I don't know what happened to Ocho. I guess because he stopped sleeping with her, he's not on the show anymore. Anyways, but he started introducing her to the show because I guess he was on the show first as a host, and he says, and you have to keep in mind about the sexual favor allegations that took place. And this is what he said at the time. "Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in?" And I was thinking to myself, what position are we talking about? Missionary? Doggy?
Yeah. I'm not even touching that one. Not even touching that one. Can't touch that one.
Hey, it's not that hard apparently for her because she did it at least with two people to get further.
To further her position.
In another video, Rob, he said, "Truly, in the sports industry, I don't know anyone that is more impressive in any way, shape, or form than the one and only Joy Taylor. Yeah, her shape and form is impressive, and that's what got her the
very
job.
impressive.
Let's be honest
very
about
impressive.
that. Great use of words. What position she's in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, both
and
Mark,
talking about
Mark, both our fathers were in psychology, and you would think maybe he's projecting. We would call that projecting, right?
Oh yeah, way, shape, or form. And what position
and
she's
both those
in.
comments projecting, I think.
I really, Rob, I think she put back women's sportscasters back around 50 years because, when we look at attractive sportscasters or any kind of broadcaster, it's a woman, and everyone says it, men and women say it. Well, she might have got her job because she was good looking, which is fine. I mean, people in restaurants and bars, attractive women are more likely to get hired for bartenders or cocktail waitresses or even waitresses, which is fine. Okay, whatever. They have an advantage. And people get on TV, but if they're good, if they're not good, they're not going to get on TV normally, especially when there's a lot at stake with big jobs.
Right.
But, we don't know that they're sleeping with anybody. We just know that they're attractive, and that's going to make them more likely to get hired. But now when you're looking at someone, you're just thinking, get a woman in sports who gets a job now, and they're attractive. The first thing you're going to think is, okay, did she take the Joe Taylor route or not? That's what you're going to think. You're going to think that more than you were thinking. You were thinking it a little bit before, but now you're going to think it more. It's going to be at the top of your minds. I mean, you shouldn't, but we don't know how often this happens. We know it happens in business. We know it happens in broadcasting and sportscasting. We just don't know how often, but now we think it's, more prevalent than it was before, at least in our mind. So I think she did a disservice to, women sportscasters and women broadcasters in general.
Mm-hmm.
And
definitely.
It made her money. Right now, though, she's seen as a joke. So I think it failed in the long run, Rob, and not money-wise, but in terms of the credibility that she wanted.
Yeah, the credibility. That's the main thing, the credibility.
She has no credibility right now. And I just showed you a take that not only was a bad take, it was a lie. And so, anyways, well, that's our take on Joy Taylor.
Yep. let us know. Give us a holler out.
Oh no! We're right now, Rob. Their last two shows, she dressed very conservatively. Those puppies aren't out. They're all covered up for the last two shows.
I guess.
You think that's a coincidence?
Nope, I don't think so.
In fact, Rob, on her latest video that's on Speak, someone said, "Look at Joy dressing all conservative now." And then someone else said, if Joy's puppies emerge by Groundhog Day, we'll have 6 more weeks of winter. And on her show, Rob, I watched it just because it was about the Packers and the Eagles. And the question was stupid that she asked. They said, Jalen Hurts is in protocol still for concussion. And she said, can the Eagles win without Jalen Hurts? Which is a dumb question. Of course they can win. The question is, will they win?
Right.
That's the question she's asking, a meaningless question. So if she wants credibility, she should start asking better questions. That's a silly question. They could win.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it with your family, friends, and acquaintances. And guess what, Rob? We got a live show every Monday, 6 to 8 Eastern time, except for major holidays. You can join in for that show, and you can also call in, so it's pretty cool. And if you want, you can donate to this channel with super chats and super thanks down below, and there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.